But in the off chance that I am being streamed right now and my audio is going through, pretty interesting bands here so far. Geb, you don't see him too much with how the meta's going with the auto attack junglers. Typically, you get a lot of those people like Nemesis, Mercury, Bakasura, Kali. You get them out really fast. Freya's not a surprise to see her banned. Um, Pretty standard to ban Freya. She's really, really strong, and I think the new additions to the item tree, specifically with Bancroft's now having its own set of glyphs, makes her just even stronger than before. And then there's the Kali ban and a Kepri ban from I don't know which team is which currently, but actually, wait, no, I do. Yeah, there we go. You got diffed. There we go. You got diffed with the Kepri ban to round out theirs. And then Robin, instant lock Robin from You Got Diffed. Um, you typically see him more in solo lane now with his recent buff within the past couple weeks. Just made him so much stronger in solo lane. He was already really good, and he's just gotten even better. There's an Osiris pick, so we're going to see Robin in the jungle most likely. There are a couple people in the league that can pull an Osiris jungle, um, and have and will continue to do so. But I feel this is going to be a Robin jungle. Osiris, I feel like, is more effective in solo lane. And Robin, of course, can just flex into a bunch of different roles, but jungle is where he belongs for the most part. So I think that's what we're going to see from them too. Yu Huang and Hachiman being selected for Pumpkin's Patch. Yu Huang, if you know how to play him, great, great god. It's just kind of tough with his ultimate and some. I mean, at this point, people should know how his passives work. And everything like that. But he's really strong when you get to the end game, and if you're not ahead by that time against a Yu Huang, you're probably going to lose the game. Like that's just how much strength he has into the end of the game. And then Hachiman's a safe pick, really good kit, really safe kit. And overall in a team fight as well, if he can ult in like while a team fight's going on and get that extra slow and that damage, that's a really valuable tool. And King Arthur being selected, we'll see him go into solo lane, barring any crazy new picks for Pumpkin's Patch. And Soul being selected for You Got Diffed. Soul, again, she can benefit just like Freya can, just not as strong for the most part, but still a very good ADC pick nonetheless. And again, she can still benefit from the new Bancroft's glyphs, the attack speed, the lifesteal, all that fun stuff. And I want to welcome Giants into the stream. I've been talking nonstop basically, but it looks like he's going to be the fill-in here as my casting partner. How you doing, Giants?
Yeah, no, I'm doing good. Even though you didn't really want me to be here, I'm here.
I low key was talking trash on you. I was relishing the fact that I was going to be able to do this alone, but I also have severe separation anxiety, so I'm glad I have somebody here with me.
Yeah, no, of course. I just I was in rank queue, so I wasn't expecting to be here in the first place. But it seems like we are covering anyways. But this is actually a really interesting game because I don't know how much you know about Premier, but the team here on our right, Pumpkin's Patch on red side, or sorry, on order side, um, redid their entire roster. The only person left remaining from the original roster is three maniacs. The jungler for their team for the first half of the season. Every other player is brand new to the team. And then also, if we go over to You Got Diffed, Russo and Paxki, I believe, are the only two people on that team originally, and every other player got released by Russo. So this is going to be an interesting one of all the free agents that have come in to prove their worth.
Yeah, essentially two brand new teams, sans the captain. So that's going to be a really interesting way to see how this set goes out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty standard stuff all the way across. I'm surprised that we were able to even let through Ravana, King Arthur, and Hu Huang in the same game. Um, Considering that there was a Geb, Kepri, and a Daji ban, I wonder if those are targeted. Um, but everything on the right side seems pretty standard. Um, Going into an Athena pickup here is interesting.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to keep going, but the game's going to be a pretty good one. I'm really excited for this one, especially considering um, I haven't seen a lot coming from Mental Depressed, who is a gold ranked player coming in here into a prem game where the average player is going to be at least masters. Um, so it's really interesting to see how he's going to do. I wonder if they're going to be trying to protect him to make sure he doesn't get exposed too hard, or if Mental Depressed is just going to smurf on everyone and uh, low key be an absolute god in this matchup. So we'll see about that. What do you think about the team so far in terms of comps?
When it comes to comps, I do like the Athena pick. Athena's really strong. I'm surprised that uh, I don't see too many Dajis being played, so I'm kind of surprised that that was a ban early on. Even though they're not the team that ended up suffering for it, I don't think. But Pumpkins Patch with some pretty standard bans, Freya, Nemesis, Kali, at the start. Um, I like those bans, but then you got diffed with the Geb and the Daji and the Kepri. Interesting decisions to me. I assume, like you said, those are either targeted or they just, in particular, might have issues with maybe securing lockdown on kills that Kepri gets his ult on, or if Geb can get his cleanse on people. That might be particularly why they wanted to get those out. When it comes to the teams, I really do like You Got Diffed. I feel like they have just an insanely strong team. Athena's global, who used a really safe hunter and he does a lot of damage. Soul, of course, a really safe ADC. Seems to be going mid lane this game, which she has the benefit of doing. She's a magical ADC, but she also just packs immune punch with her abilities alone too. Osiris, one of the strongest solo laners in the game right now, and then Robin, of course, just one of the strongest gods in the game. So I'm really excited to see how You Got Diff does this. And Pumpkins Patch, not a bad team either. But I just think that You Got Diff had a slightly better draft.
Yeah, it looks like we're just there's a DC perhaps.
Mhm.
So just going to be waiting to see if we're going to get back into this game. Um, yeah, just spectator bugs. We are going to be able to come right back in again, as they're going to be doing the same bans and picks all the way up until that last one. So something that's interesting that I've just been told is actually You Got Diff doesn't have their full roster, as someone's game is still copying over as they haven't updated for the midseason patch yet. So
Mm.
they're not going to be here in the first game. Your wife's new BF is going to be filling in for them. I believe it was Julesy, who they're going to be replacing. So um, someone who last season had a very, very big impact coming from the subs. And hopefully here he's going to be able to prove himself in this premier match as well. So we do have two um, less than masters players playing, but I hope to see both of them absolutely step up and kill this match because I think they both have it capable inside them. So
Hmm.
here's hoping that they really shoot off in this game.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. It'll be nice to see, especially because these teams are so vastly different than they were at the beginning of the season. It's going to be really cool to see what happens here, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm just checking in on the captain's chat as we're just going to be talking here in the DMs. Da, 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 da. Yes. Hmm. What do you think about Hugh Huang? After the buffs that he received, he seems to be a top pick ban, especially in the SPL. Do you have
Mhm.
a lot of games on him?
I don't have a plenty of games on him, but I do. I feel like I am decent enough with him to know that, and have gone against him enough to know that if he reaches end game and he has even like a halfway decent team around him, it's going to be really hard to really hard to beat him. He just has a lot of damage output, and it only gets worse as the game goes on. He's a really strong pick. He has great CC, great tick damage, and his ult is one of the best in the game if you know how to use it. You can get people from around corners, you can push people into dangerous areas, and of course, it just does insane damage on its own. So Yu Huang might be the big pick for them. King Arthur and Ganesha are both really good as well. Serket, also a great lockdown assassin. But I think Yu Huang is really going to make the difference for their team. So I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, the pick here for Saka is actually quite interesting, especially considering that it's going to be, I assume, in the jungle. Um, now, and of course, we have Ravana probably going into the solo lane as well, um, which is something that I know Ravana is quite a hot pick right now. Going into solo lane, just with the amount of heals that he's going to be able to get, especially with the mitigated damage that he's going to be building,
Mm-hmm.
even with the glass shield to be able to get some of that damage back. It would be really nice to see them running Lono's Mask, if only Lono's Mask was actually decent. Unfortunately, it's going to need a lot of love and tender care before it's going to be anywhere near the point of competitive play.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the item has a really good chance of fitting in somewhere in that Ravana build, if that is going to be some of that high res, or I should say Titan Forge is going to be able to keep up with. Not just sure if they're going to be able to, or if they're going to nerf that into the ground so that people start picking an assassin in jungle. But they seem to be warming up to the idea of having people flexing into different roles after they canceled Fenrir and Naja, Eset, and other mid laners in the support roles.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they're finally able to embrace it, which is nice to see. It's a good thing. I think for the game's health, there's a lot more variance in builds and in team comps, which is always something that I welcome. I think if you bring up the spice, you should be awarded for it, not punished. Um, so do you actually see in a Cyrus jungle, like I was saying, it's going to be a Ravana solo lane with the sigil, going to be able to provide a lot of mitigations, and in my opinion, one of the most underrated starter items in the game for sure.
You really don't see it too often, but when you do, it is going to be one of those solo lane starter items, just because of how often you brawl over there. And the extra protections early on really can help, especially if you're one of those solo laners that gets up in the wave, hits the god and the wave at the same time to get a little bit of clear and a little bit of damage. That's really going to help with all the minions hitting you at once, as well as your lane opponent. Um, I am typically one to go Bluestone, or up until the recent patch, I would go the new earrings, the cooldown earrings, the baubles or whatever, until they patch them out for a hot fix or something like that. So I personally haven't gone warding sigil, but for lane opponents that I've played against that have gone it, it's been a lot harder than normal, as you'd expect, to get any real damage off on them.
Yeah, he's going to be an absolute tank. He's going to be doing a lot of damage in the back as well. Um, the Hopefully we're going to be able to actually watch some of the gameplay before this pause goes over. But um, yeah, pretty standard starts for everyone on the map. I don't think anything's all that interesting. I mean, going mana pot on an ADC is interesting. I would never do it, but maybe Pasky knows something that I don't. Um, I know that Hou, if he's going to go full combos, especially with Athena, is going to be able to burn a lot of mana very quickly. Um, but he does go Hunter's Cowl, so that's going to be able to help him a little bit. And that Hachi is definitely not going to run out of mana, considering his passive, and he also has Hunter's Cowl. So it's going to be interesting to see the war of attrition over mana in the dual lane. That's for sure.
Mhm. Definitely. And I like the thought from the Hachiman getting a couple multi pots too. There have been a few times with his passive where I've considered maybe just getting one mana pot and the rest health, because I'm not really going to need that much mana. But at least the idea is that there's a chance I could use too much mana and I need a little bit more. But at the very least, I have a couple extra like half health pots. I probably need to go along that route too when I play Hachiman.
Yeah, no, and I'm actually really I've been seeing a lot of Hachimans recently, and something that's really fun that I've been seeing people experiment with is with the new baubles and using the one to be able to get hit scan on them, so you hit someone from a million miles away just instantly over and over and over again.
Right.
Um, it's something that's really really fun, especially if you go with a hidden blade. You just turn into an absolute sniper, or every single one of those shots is essentially a knee ult. It's pretty funny to see, that's for sure. But if there's a lane for you to look at for this game, what lane do you think is going to be the most important for this
The
matchup
most
wise?
important lane matchup wise, I feel like will be Robin against Osiris. I don't really, or not, my mistake. I keep thinking Osiris is going to be solo lane. I think it's going to be Robin against King Arthur. King Arthur has quite a bit of damage in his kit. Obviously, he's been one of the best solo laners since he was released. And Robin himself, being an assassin, does a bunch of damage too. And a very early blink here from Cirquet. That has to be a kill, surely. Level
Nope,
two,
just gonna
no.
be able to walk out of that one. Lots of HP, lots of healing on that one. Is going to get a counter engage here from Valley. Valley's going to be able to hop onto Maju. Maju does not have the uplift. Is not able to get the self banish to walk away. But with some pots and with some peel, he's just going to be able to get out of there pretty easy. And Maniac's going to be able to dash out as well. I like this spicy contention here in mid lane.
Yeah, very early on, not even 2 minutes in, and both teams had a very good chance to get a frag there.
Ooh, nice
Great
route.
double route from the Yuhuang. Cirquet doesn't want to engage off of it. Kind of low mana. One more ability would put her at risk. So Osiris is going to just go ahead and get some farm. Really good counter gank from him. And good job from Soul as well to make sure she didn't die to that initial blink. And
Nice.
Robin will survive, but just barely. Warding Sigil doing a lot of work there.
Yeah, double pot warding sigil plus the shield from his passive is definitely going to do a lot to be able to keep him alive in that situation. Normally, he would, a lot of solo laners would definitely die right then and there, especially with the King Arthur pressure that's being put on him, considering he's still in his tower trying to get this any of these minions, so he's going to be able to get some gold before those towers hit and reduce it to 3. As we're just seeing non-stop pressure from lots of players here in this game. I think we're slowly beginning to see the pick differential between the ADCs. Like I was talking about before, with the mental needing to step up in this game, especially with your wife's new BF on the other side of the map also needing to step up against a much harder opponent that I think they're both used to. But I have good reason to believe that they're going to be able to hold their own for at least until team fighting time.
I agree with you there. You got diffed with some really great lane pressure early on, so they were able to steal purple. Now they're getting back to theirs. But Pumpkin's Patch doing well to stay in it. Really is still anyone's lane. They do have more health, so that's the upside. But the downside is that purple buff for you, Pumpkin's Patch is going to run out very soon, given they're not going to be able to get one again for another minute or so. And
yeah, I mean, beyond game state currently, I mean, other than dueling going absolutely at each other every other second that they can, I think something that's this game, I think, is even more a story between two teams and two philosophies. One team wanted players on their team to stay, and one team wanted players on their team to go. And I think that talking about that story here, yeah, is definitely the biggest thing that's going to be happening between those two teams, regardless of who wins and who loses. It's going to be interesting to see. I think a lot of other teams are going to be looking at this, especially all the people that were removed from YouGotDiffed are going to be watching this game, seeing if the team is going to be able to perform better than they were in the first half of this season, as they did struggle quite a bit in the regular season. So seeing if there's going to be much of an improvement, I think YouGotDiffed has a lot to prove. And I think Pumpkin's Patch is just here to improve best they can and try to continue the legacy of the players that had to step away from the league before them. So it's gonna be a really really good game, regardless, and I look forward to it. Especially considering that we have some pretty mechanically intuitive players as well as picks here with the Circuit and the Hou Yi. As we're gonna get a full ulti here. I don't think that's gonna be able to kill, but Value's here for a counter engage. the tanky pun install, my guy. I don't think you're going to be able to get to him in time. He gets out of the range of the stun too. So no blue buff for him, but they're going to look for an invade here. They're going to dump the wave as invade on red actually instead of on the blue. Because everyone's going to be able to come in here. That's an ulti to try to secure it, and a Ganesh ulti as well. They do end up securing it. Russo's caught out here, but that is a tanky boy, and they're just going to be able to walk out just like that. Wow. Okay. Yeah, and it's going to be pretty simple. Back and forth. Wife is really struggling to try to have his place in this lane, especially considering that he has teleport, has used it, and is already at a level down and this much HP. Is it's going to be definitely tough for him. So hopefully he just needs to stall long enough for Chubby Ostrich to be able to come online with this double ADC pickup that we have here. As going to get lots of damage onto Russo. Nice taunt into the ulti. Is going to get a full combo into the Silence. Silence is going to be able to do very little, but they're going to get to knock up into the bound right back down again. Soul ulti is not going to be able to connect. A little bit late on that one, but as going to get a free kill onto the out of position Russo. Team captain of YouGotDiffed. That's seems like you got diffed yourself, good sir. And we're going to look back at the game state. Now, Osiris is a very, very good early game bully. Any 1v1 fights, especially if you hit any of the abilities onto someone who doesn't have a lot of escapes, is going to be really difficult to be able to walk out of. But considering that every single person on Pumpkin's patch has ways to be able to get out of that stun range and slow range by jumping over walls, with the with the Circuit, or just not being immune, or practically being immune to slows with the King Arthur, is going to be able to do really well to get out of this Osiris's ability to snowball. So I think Value is going to have to put on a show early on to be able to really show why Osiris is being picked up pretty regularly in high-level play, especially considering they're going to be up against an Circuit who's just going to be able to one-shot their backline later on in the game, post 20 minutes.
Definitely. Thank you for carrying as well while I was stepping away. Pizza got here way faster than I thought it would, so. But here we are, still a really close game. Something that you would expect to see only about 7-10 minutes in. Not really even a couple hundred gold deficit, so nothing to worry about there. And still just one kill on the board. Could potentially be two with Paxki putting a lot of pressure on Mental Depressed. But of course, Hachiman not doing any of his escape options. Circuit comes in with a gank and a defensive ult. Oh, what a kill from Paxki. Mental Depressed going to come in and get the cleanup, though. I'm not sure how much I like that trade. The jungler for the carry, typically you just want to see like one-for-one trades. I guess for the most part that's okay. At least in duo lane now, Hachiman's going to be able to get some free farm without much issue. Except we do see a potential rotation coming in from Athena and Soul. That won't
mean anything. Gank over actually in solo lane. They're jumping on this King Arthur, who has no mana, very low HP. And they're going to full commit onto this or not. Some major miscommunication, I feel, between the solo and the jungle of got diffed. I feel like there was a big issue on that one, as they're actually going to go back onto Russo. He has no ulti, or sorry, Value. He has no ulti, no taunts. He's just going to walk out because one jungler has speed and the other one does not. Yeah, I mean, I would always take that trade every single day of the week as a jungler going into that duo lane. Getting a kill for your ADC is fantastic, but I would have actually loved to see any sort of help from Mental Depressed there. I think Mental, if he did anything to help out his jungler, I think that Maniacs definitely could have lived. Considering that Paxki is absolutely shoving Mental Depressed down. As they do get nice pings off of a ward, showing that Circuit is going to be helping out Mental as much as possible against Paxki, like I was saying before the game started. But it's a lot of contention. Really nice ulti. There's actually going to be a kill onto the jungler coming from Chubby Ostrich onto that side camp, and there's absolutely nothing that Pumpkin Patch can do about it. Even with the ultis coming out from the Ganesha, they're going to be able to just walk away from that one and get a free kill for absolutely nothing, as this Hou Yi is diving between towers with no ulti, trying to get this kill, and Mental Depress is, even an Athena ulti is coming over. Is they're going to look for a dive potentially here? Seems like an absolute waste of Athena ult. Yeah, it looks like they are going to go for a dive here. They has no ulti to be. He does have ulti, sorry, to be able to escape. I wonder why he's not using it. Really nice dash. Quite a late ulti, but he is able to get out on that one. Nicely done from Mental Depressed to be able to walk out. And there's going to be no punish further onto Russo as mid lane was a bit tied up with their own problems.
Hmm. And I'm a bit surprised Serket. Maybe I'm mistaken, and I'm map a little bit late, but I'm a little bit surprised Serket, knowing full well that Hachiman was struggling there between towers. And Athena's health bar is up on the like up on your overlay. You can definitely see it when they're under tower. I'm surprised, given her dash and her leap, that she didn't even come over and try and help. That could have been a potential counter kill for the failed dive attempt, considering how low Athena was and her ult's down. Uh,
Nice steal.
really well done.
Yeah, I believe Serket was dead.
Well, well, Serket was dead, but I mean, by the time like that whole ordeal was going on, she was back up and on her speed. So that's what had me
As
thinking.
it is just pure domination over there in duo lane.
Mm.
Uh, so I imagine that even if Hachi wasn't able to get that kill off earlier on, I think he definitely would be at least 2 levels down at this point. But uh, a Pasky ulti just to be able to dump some minions, force Mental Depressed to lose out on a lot if he does back, and he actually does back. Maybe a good call without him even knowing, considering that Osiris and Athena were over there to complete a dive if they wanted to. As we're going to get another invade onto purple, and they'll look to invade onto red buff. But that's a 1v3 for value.
Mm.
That's an early game of Cyrus, so Cyrus is going to be able to do a lot there. Nice ulti to push him back in. Unfortunately, they realize ulti is going to be able to miss from the Ganeshas. There's going to be a lot of individual fights here. Serket's trying to be able to do anything on the side of the map here, the start of this fight. Nice ulti coming out of the soul. Is going to be able to punish Madre for his poor positioning right behind the realize, and the Ganesh is not going to be able to peel for it that much, considering he already used ulti. And there's just going to be an Athena ulti onto Oracles, just for the hell of it.
Just clear
Seems
them up a little bit faster. That was a really good team fight there. Only one kill pulled off on the Yu Huang, but that is one of the best kills you can get against the enemy mid laner, especially with a mid laner as strong as Yu Huang. It's a really good frag there for YouGotDiffed.
yeah, I think that Pumpkin's Patch is getting an early wake up call to the power of YouGotDiffed. Really nice reaction time coming out of Mental Depressed to be able to dodge out of that one. Whether or not he heard the audio or whether or not he simply saw it, but really nice job on that dodge there. But there's a lot of pressure coming out from Dift in every single lane except for solo, the one that we are expecting there to be a bit of struggle for new BF. So it's an interesting one to see, as we are able to see a little bit of a difference between the golds here, as well as the XP is starting to grow as we have now a 2-level lead. Yeah, just about a 4K lead on XP and a 1.5 gold lead, but this is still anybody's game. So it'd be really, really nice to see if Pumpkin Patch is going to be able to put out some pressure somewhere, somehow. Maybe help out Pun Install and try to do some more. There's no mana on the mana. He's going to get full dive here by both as they decide to call off the dive. He is too tanky with that finished Glass Shield and Sovereignty. So he's going to be able to walk out of that one for sure. They're going to be able to go for this Hou-Yi. Hou-Yi's going to be able to get a nice ulti off. And yeah, 3 Maniacs has decided that Pasky is the target. Just going to go for him pretty much instantly. I really like the upgrade on the Executioner right away, though. That is a very strong new passive that's going through.
Great reflexes.
All right. Well, anyways, we're going to have a quick dive here onto solo lane, as they're going to be able to just hold out for long enough. With no mana, he's going to be a bit of a struggle bus to be able to clear out that Trebuchet. But I think it's because my caster is currently eating his dinner. So that's all right. As towers are going to be going down very, very quickly from Pumpkin's Patch. And hopefully they're going to be able to get a nice comeback here. There's going to be a nice combo of ultis. Really nice punish onto 3 Maniacs. He's trying to get an invade onto speed buff. or sorry, that's his own speed buff that was getting invaded. Is though it doesn't show it very much, the amount of pressure coming out of YouGotDiffed right now is absolutely immense. So uh, the game right now is in Diff's hands to lose. So that pressure is going to be continuing as they take out mid tier one, and they're going to be able to take out duo tier one as well, as they're going to be going straight onto the Pyromancer, just objectively playing all over the map right now. As they're going to be able to try to get as much as possible out of that Ganesha ulti, but they're just not going to walk over that damage, as Uninstall is doing everything he possibly can to be able to do anything onto the backline here, as he's going to try to go into Ostrich. Ostrich is going to be able to get nice peel coming out of the Russo and Wife's new BF, who is super tanky at this point, as they both have finished items, even though Uninstall has Genji's as well. Nice taunt onto Realize. This is going to be a nice route instead, but you're going to be able to dash out of that one as well. They're just going to look for a couple of hunts and walk out and maybe go back on that Pyromancer, as there's going to be lots of pings, but that's a good stop for them. Paxy's going to get a nice bounce auto attack and pick up that kill into Maniacs, but it feels like it's just out of control for Pumpkin's Patch right now. It's a slow and slippery slope down this way, as they're going to be almost 5k gold down now at this point, but four and some change. And yeah, it's a bit of a struggle bus right now.
Yeah, those were good fights that YouGotDiffed were taking, and of course, Hu Yi and I can't remember who else. I can't remember who was Osiris or Athena, but them two over there making sure that they could get Gold Fury while that whole fight over at Pyro was going down. Really good job of obtaining safe objectives, and also making sure that they don't lose anybody. And if they do, it would be not somebody entirely invaluable to the team, but they're doing really good here with a very nice 6k gold deficit, or gold lead rather. Pumpkin's Patch not completely gone yet. They still have a good chance. They do have a good team around them in the in their god pool. It's just a matter of if they can get that communication set up here. As Osiris isn't caught out yet, Athena is with him, but Athena is now getting caught out. It's a 4v2 that looks to be in Pumpkin's Patch advantage with a KA ult on the Athena. Athena's going to ult into Osiris, who's hanging on the back line. Russo really low. He's surely going to die, and he does. Nice. There. Or Athena, yeah, Russo, of course, my apologies, dies to a Yu Huang ability. And a little bit of delayed reactions here. As Hachiman shows up, he ought to be able to get some good damage off.
Yeah, I think he's just chubby hanging out for a little bit too long there, as Ravana actually goes back in and try to peel for him, but that is the wrong idea, my friend. He was already dead by the time he got there, as you're going to die and trade your life for absolutely nothing as well. Mental Depressed is missing some auto attacks, but he's going to be able to clean that kill up pretty easily. They do trade it for a tier 2 tower coming up for Paxki, so Paxki's going to be very strong here, coming with a 3-level lead, just almost 4 levels on that ADC, so he's going to be quite scary, as he's going to be rotating into fights now with almost a complete build. So I bet you once he's going to be able to rotate to these ones, it's going to be a very scary fight for everyone. But they do claw back a little bit of gold. They do put a bit of a stamp on this game, saying, hey, we're still here, we're still participating. We are here to come back in this game, and I think they definitely have the ability to do that. I would love to see Maniacs getting another pick here, coming from the jungle, maybe targeting out the Ho Yi if he could, because I don't see a lot more options other than the Soul, as we have quite a beefy Osiris here. With those auto attacks, going to be able to steal a lot of protection to get a lot of power coming from them. Now, here's something that's interesting. Bancroft's Talon upgrade on the Soul. Now, there's a lot of bugs going on right now with Bancroft's specifically. So glad to see that he's not abusing any of those. But there's a bug currently where you can build multiple Bancrofts. You can build an upgrade to Bancrofts if you build it first, and then you can build a normal Bancrofts on top of that into your build, as well as a Typhons, to be able to get an absolute ridiculous amount of power and lifesteal. So glad that we don't see any bug abuse coming from Chubby Ostrich. That is something definitely to look out for. And I believe that some of the bugs were fixed this morning in a hot fix. I'm not too sure if that was one of them, but nice to see some new build diversity especially one of the new items being built, as he looks like he's actually going to be building Typhons right now.
Yeah, like I was saying before the game got started, that's typically what you're going to see on people like Soul and Freya is going to be Diamond Arrow or uh, Golden Arrow, my mistake, and Bancrofts. That's like the two items you will see together almost every single time on a magical ADC. Um, and Russo doing well to get out with a little bit of help from mid laner and support. Well done. That was going to be a Ganesha ult, but Athena ulted in there as well to ensure the peel. They still do have a really nice lead here, sitting at right about 6,000 gold. Levels, of course, in basically every single role, up by one or two at the very least. They're doing good here. That last fight they had over by enemy speed uh, was unfortunate to say the least, but they still are in the driver's seat here. They have a really good chance to get a great pushes going on with this Oni Fury. Nobody is on their side of the map. They could keep pushing left if they wanted to, and I don't think the enemy team would even be prepared for it. It looks like they're making an Oni, not an Oni, my mistake, a Pyro push into a potential Fire Giant push. I don't think they even know that YouGotDiffed is rotating on their way over.
Yeah, I mean, it's just slow rotation coming out for the team. Really nice push, actually. Really nice ultimate coming from the from Madre to push them all the way back in again. And Knight's Punish is going to go all the way in, actually, right onto the back line here. Very ambitious from the three maniacs. He's going to be able to get a leap out, but there's going to be a follow-up from boyfriend or wife's new boyfriend. Nice ulti for the self-peel, as he's going to be able to try to run on this man. I mean, it's a 4v1 right now. Yeah, this isn't season 4, season 5 anymore, where you can just 1v5 like that on Glad Shield users, but really nice fight from Pumpkin's Patch, able to do a lot of damage and get a quick 3-0 as they're going to be able to pick up this Pyromancer here, deciding not to go for the Fire Giant. As Oni waves are pushing against them, so they decide just to take those and clear out the waves, make sure they don't lose any more towers for an easy Titan push coming from YouGotDiffed, as there is still quite a bit of an XP and gold lead coming out from YouGotDiffed, so Pumpkin's Patch is doing a really good job trying to find their spot right now in this fight. And I'm actually seeing a Circuit tank build, which is probably the reason why they were able to live for so long. Um, so it's interesting to see that they're bringing that one back, considering the changes to the scaling on her abilities. So, uh, interesting build. What do you think about that one? Would you ever try it? As we do see a defense item actually coming out on the Osiris as well.
When it comes to Circuit, typically I don't even see her play it unless it is support, and this is kind of like a hybrid of support and damage. And I really do like it because she provides really valuable CC for the team in multiple different ways. And if her team can capitalize on that, I see nothing wrong with her living a little bit longer and still doing that damage. Huyi ult, YouGotDiffed is going to secure the Fire Giant.
Nice taunt. Yeah, there's not much that you can really do here for Pun Install. The man came over because he had a sneaking suspicion that they were on the Fire Giant. I don't think they had a lot of wards out there. But really good call, actually, from YouGotDiffed, realizing that they all backed Hatches to defend the Oni Fury anyways, or Oni Fury minions, I should say, anyways. It's just a free Fire Giant for them. They're just going to keep pushing, try to steadily increase the lead that they currently have, as they're going to go straight for a Phoenix here. Taking out some nice wards so don't get pinned on the other side of the wall. As they're going to go all the way in, actually, just straight onto the back line. Missed the time, missed the ulti, as Chubby Ostrich is going to get absolutely chunked out by the Ganesha ulti, going right into the kill. They're actually going to turn it around on Realize. Realize not getting a lot of help there. It's going to get a nice ulti from Maniacs onto Ostrich. Ostrich is going to be able to tick, and stay alive with that healing. Even though there's 100% anti-heal on that one, somehow he's able to walk out of that one. It's going to be a full dive back onto Mental Depressed. Mental Depressed, there's only so much you can do, my friend. That feels bad. Value was just waiting for that kill to be handed over to his teammate. He decides to take it because they just didn't want to end the game. But looks like they're finally going to do it. As Punitol is going to do his absolute best, try to do anything and everything he can to try to keep this game alive. But that's just too much CC, good sir. Does get a trade in the end. So anyone who has him on your fantasy team, congratulations. He is now 4-2-3. Bit of a better scoreline, but that is going to be end the game, unfortunately, for Pumpkin's Patch. YouGotDiffed straight from the get-go all the way through was strong. So it's nice to see that they were able to carry that one through all the way.
Yeah, that game kind of got out of hand a little bit early. Pumpkins Patch was actually doing a great job at clawing their way back into the game. They had two or three really good team fights around objectives and towers. They did a really solid job, and especially that three pick before they got Pyro. That was a really well done fight. Multiple ults synchronizing with each other well to get as much damage and the kills as well as possible. I just think it's really unfortunate that Oni Fury was taken by the other team right before that engage. They could have even, maybe even possibly gone for fire there. It would have been a little bit tough because Hu Yi was still around, and I believe Soul was still around as well. So you had two biggest damagers on the team still lurking, potentially waiting to steal Fire Giant. But it's all five of you there. If you get Pyro and you get Fire Giant, you're in the game for at least another 10 minutes unless you hard throw it, in my opinion. But it's one of those calls where, in the heat of the moment, you know they got Oni Fury about a minute ago. Even with some kills, Pyro seems like it's the best call. It's just one of those things. I feel like that might have been the call that cost them the game. Sticking around for Fire Giant, maybe they wouldn't have even had it anyway. Maybe YouGotDiffed would have stolen it. But I mean, like 5 against 2 like that, you're probably going to get the kills for it anyway. And I don't know. It's just one of those really tough things. YouGotDiffed, of course, showcase performance. Everybody on the team did what they were supposed to do. Really, really great game from them.
Yeah, and I was told actually that their sub is gonna be able to be cleared, as their original member is gonna be able to come in for this second game as copying has finished. So hopefully you're actually going to be able to see even cleaner game coming out from them, or maybe that was a mistake in letting your wife's new BF go. So we'll see what happens coming into the second game, as this is going to be the full roster for You Got Diffed. But yeah, I mean, I think that they're just figuring out their team fights here on Pumpkin's Patch with this new roster. You got to give them a little bit of time to be able to work things out. I know they've been practicing and playing games together, working on positioning and working on where they want to go and play. Um, so it is nice to see that they're going to be able to build some synergy. If anything, that's definitely what they're going to be able to walk away from this game is definitely some things that they're going to improve on. And after this game, I think that they just need to work on team fighting. I mean, there wasn't a single person who or a single character on the other team that was really putting the pressure on them. If anything, you could say that it was the 6-1-3 Ho Yi who was doing a lot of work on that pickup, but that just came with the amount of pressure that was coming out from that duo lane onto mental depressed. So I actually do see it going into the second game that they are going to keep your wife's new BF still in this game, deciding to stick with it. So I mean, hey, good call. They already won the first game. Why change it, right? And we're gonna start off with some pretty standard band of Afreya.
Yeah, I feel like those team fights towards the end of the game for Pumpkins Patch really they needed those the whole time. And if the game went on for another 10 minutes, it would have been a lot closer. I think they were starting to get the hang of it. I feel like they probably need a more meta jungle pick. Of course, when a lot of your jungle picks are getting banned out, like Nemesis and Robin and Mercury and Bakasura and Kali, it's tough to get one that's really good in the meta. But Serket, especially if you're not going to be going straight up damage, it can be sort of tough. She did get pretty decent follow up on quite a bit of her CC, and they did get good kills, especially in those last few team fights. But um, it might need to be a more standard jungler that they need to see from them. Everybody else on the team did fairly well, especially Yu Huang with the damage numbers and the kills, NK with a lot of crowd control on the enemy team. Just not enough. And the team fights at the beginning of the game, where they were just kind of leaking in and they were getting caught off one by one, those seem to really be the ones that came back to bite them. So hopefully with this game, we'll see maybe not so many targeted bans, but the couple of gods that were causing them real trouble. I'd say Hu Yi, and Osiris. I would expect to probably see bans from them, and apparently not. At least not yet. You Got Diffed wasn't a fan of the Yu Huang, so they're going ahead and putting him out. I like that ban. And then Soul getting the ban from Pumpkin's Patch. Um, I think that's fine. Soul, like Freya, hits very, very hard, and she's a pretty safe god too. And the Kepri Secure being the first pick for Pumpkin's Patch, which it must
Nearly
be
insta grab too.
instant grab, no time wasted. It must be their best, like their support's best god, or they know something we don't, and they're going to take him into the jungle. Who knows? Um, but yeah, Kepri Instalock first pick is a very interesting decision. Surely it just means that that's the god that they want their support on, and I respect it. I have a couple of those gods myself. Hopefully they they prove why they wanted to instant lock that first pick in the next couple of minutes. And we have YouGotDiffed here thinking about what they want to do. They have two picks here. Um, Jing Shen, good selection. He's really strong right now, and Achilles has been strong for a long time and still is. I like these two picks from them. Jing Shen and Achilles together are very high synergy for multiple reasons, including ultimate into ultimate. So let's see what Pumpkin's Patch has to respond with here. Just a little bit of thinking being done. So at this point, you know who the support is. Set being picked up. You typically only see him in jungle nowadays. Sometimes you'll see him in solo, but not so much. So Set, jungle, Scylla mid. So far, a pretty decent lineup here. But I'd go as far to say, even with just two gods out of the five selected compared to the three, I do think YouGotDiffed has a slightly better comp so far, even just two gods in. So let's see what value gets before the next two bans. Hovering over the Thoth, opting to maybe go for the Morgan Le Fay, maybe the Nox. It's like a poker player reaching for chips, trying to see how the opponent will react, but we're not sitting around a table right now. They can't do that. They're just going to have to flick around and see what their mid laner is going to be most comfortable on. And it looks like it's a Nox. So, kind of like we were saying earlier, how multiple roles can flex into different like lane positions now. Um, it's really interesting to see. You could potentially see Jing Shen solo. We have a lot of solo laners in this league that like to go Guardians, especially people like Jing Shen, who can do a lot of damage and is very safe with his passive. Achilles could jungle. We see him a lot in the jungle. I also know somebody in my ring that takes Achilles carry sometimes. Not going to name any names, but he's pretty sick with it. And Nox could support. But as of right now, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be standard Jing Shen support, Nox mid lane, and of course Achilles and solo. And the next two bans from each team are going to be Kyron and X Ball, as well as Kali and Hu Yi. Kyron was an interesting ban. I feel like he gets a lot of burst, just like Scylla does. I feel he's more of a mid lane god in my opinion. And with Scylla, you basically have your mid laner. There's no other role really she could go. So the Kyron pick was the Kyron ban. Like I said, was an interesting one. But X Ball is a good ban in my opinion. Very good ban. And Kali's always good to ban. She's really strong right now. All auto attack junglers are. And Hu Yi, of course, they do not want to let Paxki get Hu Yi again. But he's opting for the Artemis, which is a really good pick. Really strong. I'm not a fan of Artemis because of how hard she hits me when I play against her, but as a pick here in this game, it could be really effective, especially because Paxki for basically the entire game was kind of running duo lane. I wouldn't be surprised if he continued to do so with Artemis here. Susano being picked up, as well as Medusa for YouGotDiffed. Or, my apologies, Pumpkin's Patch. Medusa, really strong carry. Pretty safe with her dash out as well. Her poison and her attack speed stem are also very, very good. And her acid spit, I really don't like it as an ability when I'm playing against it. I feel like it needs to be more telegraphed how far it's going to reach, because sometimes it just dissipates, but it still hits you, and it really bothers me. But Susano being picked up in the jungle. potentially solo. So this is one of those things you could see Set or Susano either or here as solo or jungle. But I think it's going to be Susano solo. I've seen him play solo a little bit more than anyone else in this list. Um, so I think that's what we're going to see: a Set jungle and Susano solo.
I like the Nox pickup though.
Hmm.
Nox pickup is a really good counter against a set, and especially considering that you're not going to be able to do um, a lot of clone placement. As I do actually think that set's going to be solo lane. Susano Soto, it's kind of ass in my opinion. But we do get a Uller pickup in mid lane. That's gonna be pretty spicy. I like that a lot, actually. Oh, sorry, that's a Nox mid lane, um, and an Uller jungle. Even more spicy. I do love the Achilles pickup though against Kepri. You always have to pick up an Execute God, especially if you're going up against a Kepri. It's just way too easy to lock that in first pick.
Oh yeah.
Not going to pick up some Execute Gods. Um, so I'm glad to see that there's that countermeasure. But double ADC coming out from Value and Artemis. So Value's Uller and Artemis's Paxion Artemis. So it's going to be nice to see them just chunking away and try to get some picks onto the set. But man, that set has some really good targets to go after. If he just pops the beads, man, he's going to be able to hit Nox, Uller, and Artemis. All three of them is going to be really difficult for all three of them to be able to peel for themselves. I actually expect Punasol to be able to pick up a beads in the first place just to be able to run at them. And if you're able to force out an Artemis ulti or even a Nox ult just to be able to get towards them, you can easily just jump over a wall with the absolutely ridiculous range with some of those clone hop jump mechanics. And I'm sure you know this already, but I've been being mentored by Midman, and shout out to Midman. He taught me about the mechanic where if you command a clone to do your one strike, your skewer, as that clone is moving forward, you're able to jump on it, and when it ends its dash, you're able to jump not from the distance it was originally, but from the additional distance of where it went. So you're able to do a double dash of your skewer distance, which you're able to almost make it from mid tier one to mid tier one. Like you can get about 75% of the way there, which can gap close anyone in the game other than maybe like a Mercury ulti. But it is pretty incredible if you're able to pull that mechanic off mid game. I'd be really impressed, and I hope to be looking out for that one for in this set for sure.
I didn't know anything about that mechanic. That seems really cool, and let's hope that we can actually see something that miraculous in this game. That'd be really cool to see. Um, but with these picks, who do you think wins the draft here? Because for me, I think I have to go with. I think I still have to go with YouGotDiffed. With the execute countering the resurrect or the rescue, whatever you want to call it. And of course, they have Uller, a very strong ADC, who's going to be flexing into the jungle here, and Artemis, just a strong carry in her own right. And Nox, of course, when she's building full damage, you don't really see her in mid lane all that often. You'll usually see her as kind of flexing support, but when she builds straight up damage, she hits like a Mack truck. So I'm thinking that's going to be YouGotDiffed's game here.
I mean, I don't really see any of the picks on my screen right now, unfortunately. So I don't really remember what everyone had. I was more focused on WEC. Ah, there we go.
You ask and you shall receive. There you are.
The timing was fantastic. That's a lot of stars on set. So I'm expecting Punasol to be able to have those mechanics all the way down. Another mechanic cool for a set actually. When you're in the ulti, every fourth auto attack spawns a minion. But because of your passive being able to overcap 2.5% attack speed, you're going to be able to spawn out those minions with the charges on your two way faster than any of the auto attacks that you're going to be able to pull out. So if you just solely auto attack someone, it's going to spawn every 4, but you can definitely spawn at least 3 for every 5 to 6 auto attacks on top of the one that spawns every 4. And I tell you what, those minions doing 70% of your damage from skewer, which is already going to hit you for about 400, 500 damage in the late game, is going to one-shot someone. if you get all those stacks of minions onto a tank, like maybe 6 or 7 of those clones, and you just so happen to be an Artemis that seems to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, you get hit by all of those, you're going to go from 100 to unbelievably quickly. Um, there's another really cool thing about set that I've learned from my coach, but also I just want to say something real quick. Thank you, Subnova, for hosting us with your stream. You said I'm smelly, but I'm sure you smell nice. I only retort insults with kind gestures. So keep up what you're doing. I know you're doing a great job in production, struggling a little bit, but that's okay. Also, shout out if anyone who's listening, if you want to participate uh, in camming or casting, there are positions for you if you want to be able to help cover out the league. You do get paid if you do camming, as our sweet little voices are able to just talk about anything and everything for days on end. But our wonderful cameras and this game, especially Patrick Lee's stepping up for our game here, um, is going to get that sweet, sweet moolah. Especially if you do it for tournaments, which we do have a tournament this weekend starting on Saturday. It's going to be a Joust Pantheon locked tournament. I think everyone's just waiting to finalize their teams before coming into the server wide gem focused tournament where first place, second, and third are going to be able to get some nice gems. Uh, not too sure how we're going to break that up. Maybe if you win and you're Joust, you get all 3 positions, first, second, and third. Not too sure how we're going to break that one up, but we'll see. But rules are going to be on the Discord. So if anyone wants to read up on that, by all means, go ahead. That also means that you can have anyone from outside of the server on your team if you want. You can bring your friends from wherever, whenever, as long as you're there to play at 7 p.m. on Saturday. But just going back to this fight here, I think that if I had to give it to a team comp, I really like Pumpkin's Patch. Honestly, I think they have such team fight potential. They have unbelievable dive with Maniacs and Pun Install on those 2 picks. They have an incredible amount of damage coming out of the Scylla, as well as the Medusa is going to go for really nice ultis. It's interesting to actually see that he's decided to go for a blue buff, or sorry, why am I blanking on the item that Medusa has? Patrick, please, can you help me out? Just hover over that one real quick. I don't know why
Blue,
I'm blue stone,
blue
not
stone. There we
blue
go.
buff. Come on, thank you, Emmett. I was going to get gank here on Solian, actually. Punistol is really overextended here. Now, how much HP he's going to try to juke the stun is not going to be able to do so. It's going to get a nice revenge kill, maybe? Nice tick damage coming from Maniacs. Really, really good. But unfortunately, that's not going to do a lot, considering that First Blood is with 500 gold, and anything after that's worth 100. So, nice follow up. Make sure that does get punished. So you get both TPs coming out from dual lane. So hopefully, Punistol is going to be able to punish your wife's new BF for that a little bit more. It's a nice grab coming out from Realize into the nice route. As Roos is going to freak out a little bit and jump all the way away, as no one's going to come over and help them. Now, uh, I'm a big fan of aggressive Capris, and I think you should go for another grab right here, right now.
I
He's
think that's the
definitely
plan
dead.
here.
Yeah.
What a route from Paxki to make sure to waste the dash.
Yeah.
Dash right into Russo, or right into the trap, and Russo got away for free there. Now it went from a very easy, okay, grab and get the kill, to a, all right, I need to play a little bit safer. Russo's healed up a bit. I just took a lot of damage from the Artemis. It's not going to be as easy as 1, 2, 3. They need to take a minor step back here. And now, actually, YouGotDiffed with the advantage in lane, able to get the mid-left Harpies, or the left Harpies over in duo lane, when you were about to see Pumpkin's Patch go for it instead, considering how much pressure they just had on the enemy support.
Yeah, I really like that invade, actually, onto blue. Considering that that your wife's new BF was struggling in the lane beforehand, and now going up against Punistol, he doesn't have that mana to just splurge whenever he wants. He has to be really careful of when he uses it. Though, especially because Wedding Sickle doesn't give you a lot of MP5, it's something definitely that's going to be a really good punish. No mana for a grab, unfortunately, from Realize, but something that I've been practicing a lot, especially in solo lane, if I get invaded early, because my solo lane is absolute garbage. Actually buy the 400 bauble. 400 gold. It's 100 more than getting a mana chalice. Gives you 15 MP5. Nothing else for stats. But if you're really behind, you're struggling for mana, and your blue buff is getting invaded on cooldown, instead of having to focus and worry about getting an absolutely garbage consumable in mana chalice, you get that. You might even use it into different builds later on, or different items, I should say. And it's actually pretty sweet. Nice little tech choice for supports and soul laners to get a little MP5. Though I don't think anyone's going to be really focusing on getting that 60% cooldown cap because it's pretty trash. Nice CC onto Maniacs. Even better dash out once he gets out of that route. Yeah, pretty stable game state. Nice pings onto that blue buff as the Maniacs is going to be able to answer to the call and come over. Nice pings. As he might be able to get a kill here, actually, as he is overextended onto this buff. He's a bit beefy now that he has that tier 2 of the shield. It's not going to do too much just yet. But instead of going for a blue invade, he's actually going to trade it for a red invade here. As they do secure it. Really nice coming out from Value, who is absolutely everywhere on these invades. Timings are absolutely perfect. And I mean, this is the big difference between going Transcendence first item or going Jotun's first item. As my team's coach has been trying to push me onto not building trans, that's shout out to Young Cub, on my junglers, just because of the amount of pressure that you're going to be able to get out from Jotuns, as well as the new upgrade is kind of cracked. Well, and yeah, I mean, like, Emmett, what do you think about the new upgrades right now? Do you think that they are like they have a stronger baseline than the upgrades that they had before? Because that's surely what it feels like to me.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. There are with a lot of the new upgrades, they seem way stronger than they have any right to be, and a lot of the former glyphs kind of being taken into different items this time. So, like, obviously, you used to have Nimble Rada Tahuti becoming, the Nimble Bancrofts or whatever. And there's a couple different items that kind of borrowed one from a different or borrowed a glyph from a different item and made a new one, and then the old item got a new glyph as well. So I do like what you were saying about getting early pressure with Jotuns. If you can go ahead and get that extra damage fast, a lot of damage coming from the set onto Achilles, but just enough protections and health to keep himself alive here. He does have to play it safe. Set did ult under tower, but nothing's really going to come from it. He wants to get another dash out, and he's definitely setting up for it, but he plays it safe and goes ahead and clears wave.
Yeah, unfortunately, did not have the skewer up in time to be able to stop that back, but really nice from Punstall. I mean, just shows you the mechanics there. Playing what would be arguably a high skill ceiling god, especially in solo lane, going an item like Jotun's gives you a lot of pressure early, especially with the cooldown that you're going to be able to get. Just a constant poke from that skewer clone combo is something that's going to be able to wear anyone down for a long enough period of time. But that TP is going to be able to mitigate a little bit of that pressure coming out from that lane, as we're going to see a double Fizz D start from the Achilles with a pretty much dead even solo lane, which is actually really well done from UF's new BF, being able to even out what was a completely one-sided affair in the first game. But I expect the Punstall is definitely not done just yet. He's going to be able to bring us some nice tricks and moves, and hopefully hard carry this game coming from that solo lane, which is not something that you see very often. But this is a slight goal lead just from all these invades and from the pressure that's being pushed out from Diffed. As it seems like their new players have seemed to accustom to the game style and play of the team a little bit quicker, as Mental Depressed is getting very much caught out very quickly. He did see them coming, as Realize gave him a lot of time to realize that they were there. Unfortunately, wastes the Carefree ulti on that poor mistake.
Medusa was caught out there. I'm kind of struggling to see where wards and shards are. I assume she had one where Carrie was coming from. And I have to guess that Kepri knew that Jing Shin was behind him. And probably when he took that chalice there, that's when he let his carry know, hey, I got an enemy right behind me. You want to get out?
Ooh,
And of course, they
nice
big,
stat.
big, big
Really good
damage.
catch, actually. Really good catch coming from 3 Maniacs, able to get that on before he leaps over. But that's gonna be a huge punish, actually, from Chubby
Ooh.
Ostrich. Played that almost perfectly. Almost near exact mana to be able to get that return kill. As Maj was not able to capitalize with the ulti and get that kill onto the jungler, unfortunately. A little bit of miscommunication, it seems, that still needs to be worked out.
Really unfortunate. Sometimes, especially at this level, I know I still struggle with it a lot where I see somebody low health and I know that I can do the damage and I know that I just have to get a little bit closer. And if we're all on the same page, it's wraps. But sometimes people just don't want to follow up on it, not because they shouldn't, or, well, a lot of times because they shouldn't. If you see that damage that the Susano got on their jungler, that was more than okay enough to just go ahead and back off. You can probably steal some camps off of him. You can probably get a gank somewhere else in a different lane because he has to go back to base and heal up. There's a lot of different stuff you can do than just search for the kill, and I feel like that's something that a lot of people, myself still included, need to learn. And of course, Chubby Ostrich doing really well to get the turn back on that, back onto Maniacs, almost diving tower line to try and secure that kill on value, but just couldn't do it.
Yeah, and I think that's just another one where it's miscommunication. Is we're gonna get a gank here. Mental Press is very slow to be able to react to these hits here. I think he doesn't have any ward. Yeah, he doesn't have any wards covering him right now. He's not buying any either right now. So I would like to see him ward up a little bit more because he's getting caught out quite a bit on these mispositionings, as those are red wards before you got diffed. So hopefully Mental's going to be able to be a little bit quick on these ones, as this actually would be a really good gold call if they actually take it. And Mental Depressed could have made that call knowing that Artemis and Ulu both backed. But looks like they didn't have that full information. And they're just going to get some words set up. And looks like Nox and Xingchen are going to get some nice sweepers to be able to cover up Goldfear.
Yeah, not surprised there that gold wasn't called, especially when you just got your purple buff invaded. It's kind of hard to tell where the enemies are going to be immediately after that. Typically, you'd probably expect them to be on fire or on gold, given that they just invaded your buff. And there's at least two of them there. You have to assume there's probably going to be one more, and that's more than enough to take on Gold Fury. So I don't blame them for the no call on gold, especially considering they know full well they don't have enough coverage in not even their own side of the jungle to be able to do anything. That's a lot of damage on the Khepri. Self ult will end up being a waste. And the ooh, very close. A lot of kills coming off here.
Yeah.
Nox ult almost hitting the Khepri, who is still in mid lane. Mental Depressed getting beat out by Paxki in duo, and then immediately over in right lane after that. Your wife's new BF dying to pun install, and now we're seeing a lot. This is still really early on in the game, barely past 12 minutes, and you're seeing a lot of deep rotations coming from YouGotDiffed, and they're not doing it in a stupid way. They're doing it really. That's a lot of damage. Oh, an ult to make sure he can get out, and he does. Technically, another wasted ult. We've seen quite a few of these from the Khepri and the Susano. But I mean, when you're taking that much damage that fast, you really just have nothing else on your mind than kit dump and survive. So I don't blame him for that at all.
Yeah, no, definitely better to waste the ulti to make sure that you get out. To use the ulti to ensure that you get out, then hold your ulti and die anyways. So it's nice to see that he had that reaction time just to be able to do it. But I gotta say, that was a really, really nice catch from Value, hitting that axe in reaction to the teleport. I think he was definitely ready, was anticipating it. So, but I gotta say that there was a lot of mechanics coming out from the set, like I was saying before. Really nice punish from Madre. Even better dash, actually, to make sure he gets out of that, and big ulti for absolutely nothing coming out from the Jing Chen. As I do see a 2-level lead coming out from pun install against your wife's new BF, as cool new thing, new mechanic. Here you go, set thing. if you build 20% cooldown, normally you would only ever be able to have two set clones at any given time. If you build more cooldown, the more clones you can get onto um, the field, which means that more damage from your skewer combos, which means more damage coming out and more minions being spawned from the ulti. See a nice secure from Madre. I don't think he actually got that with the ult. I think he got that just from an auto attack. Seems a little bit late there, but uh, gotta say, Pumpkin Patch playing a lot better this game than they did last game. Still down 2K, unfortunately, but playing a lot better on this one. That's for sure. As you see another early ferocious executioner and more invades. Puninstal here. Make sure that they're kept in check.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Pumpkin's patch is doing a lot better. Not many team fights have occurred. We could see our first big one here in just a moment.
Ayo.
A good Kepri root into a pull. Lots of damage from the set. But of course, considering he's solo lane, he's not going to be doing as much damage as you'd expect a set to do. But still, really nice poke. This is
Nice
a three-man rotation onto the Artemis.
There's the beads into the knockup. Like I was saying, you have that beads and you're able to just run at them, but it's going to be another peel coming from Chubby Ostrich. Is going to be able to keep just running at them. Yeah, and that's a nice slow, actually, really good into the root. As it's going to get another peel from the rest of the YouGotDiffed as mental suppress. Again, is out of position. Unfortunately, is going to be able to just walk out of that one, but is going to get punished from the execute of your wife's new BF. As the rest of the team's going to be able to walk out of that one. But I tell you what, I like this initiative coming out. Really nice dash into the beads. Really good heads up play coming out from Madre, knowing that if he didn't take that, if he didn't beat and dash anyways, he would have been silenced from Chubby Ostrich. Really nice positioning from Chubby Ostrich just to be able to walk away. A lot of people would have been able to just dash backwards, dash forwards, really a better position to really go back onto them. He's going to get another punish, realized with the kill there from the Capri onto the mid laner here, as Scylla just cooldowns absolutely crazy going over walls and all that. So super scrappy fight to the points where Maniac is actually all the way back in it once again, and the ADC of Paxi is going to be able to spawn once more, as I don't think they're going to be able to get a nice kill here, but really nice jukes actually coming from 3 Maniacs. Love to see it. Man, I love seeing high mechanical skill gods being represented. Love it.
Most definitely. It's really fun to see those typically more difficult gods get some screen time, and especially when you see them played well, it's a lot of fun. Value still doing a lot of invading, making sure that any sort of advantage the enemy solo has doesn't get too crazy. And he's been doing really well in the jungle, getting around, helping with ganks. Good stun here on the set
nice
ult.
Follow.
Set's going to dash in. I don't think anything happens here. A lot of damage, but it's not going to be enough. He's still sticking around, though, for a potential invade.
Right. That's a lot of damage coming up from Fun Install, considering he is running very beefy, and he is able to cancel the back. He's going to get more damage onto Value. If I was Value, dude, I'd be so sad if I kept on getting my backs canceled like that. As he tries once more time. And he's just ignoring the Achilles completely. He says, oh, I can't ignore the silence, unfortunately, but... Yeah, I mean, I just gotta aspire to that level of that pettiness coming out from playing Soul stuffing the back so many times. As do you get a solo kill on Maniacs? Really unfortunate. As the rest of the team was so focused on Gold Fury, it would be really unfortunate if they actually missed this Gold Fury. As nice punish from Mental, as they do get the nice crush into ult combo, and trying to run away so they don't get killed off the following rotation of YouGotDiffed. And I mean, look at the gold. It's almost even now at this point. Practically even.
Yeah, really close game now. Still one gil advantage to YouGotDiffed, but the only thing that really matters in this game is gold. I like that fight, and I like that engage there. Really unfortunate for Maniacs to die one-on-one against the Artemis, but really good awareness from Medusa to know that, hey, I'm focusing Gold Fury right now, but if I pop ultimate, I'm going to be able to hit the Artemis, and I can just dive in and get a really easy one auto is all it takes. Did really well there, and of course, still secured gold and got out scot-free. Really good way to get back into this game here. Not that they were ever out of it, but there was a slight chance that they were starting to leak behind, but of course, that Gold Fury kill, that Gold Fury secure, and that trade over in left jungle, they're going to be able to get back into this game almost picture perfect even.
Yeah, and I mean, I gotta say, like the amount of damage that Set's starting to accumulate right now, with the amount of mitigation that he has, is it's going to start going out of control. I feel like Maniac is sorry. Your new wife's BF is slowly slowing down, especially going to this fight. Actually, he is getting chunked out by all these minions and value punishing them as there's a lot of pings onto the um, Pyromancer as they're trying to make that call for it. As there's going to be a follow up here. Ula's might get caught out here if you're going to get a nice root or really nice silence actually onto that root. Nice beads to get into the crush as there's going to be a full follow up. And there's not much you can do about this one, Value. I'm sorry, sir, but your life is absolutely void. Bit overkill coming from that ulti from the Scylla, as that could have been used for anything else. But I appreciate it. Better to get the kill than not, like you were saying before. They do know the wards are going to be there. It's actually going to get a nice solo kill pretty easy on that one. As Mental Breath still had beads up before that ulti. Didn't seem to matter all that much though, as Punitol's just trying to find anyone and everyone to hit his auto attack on. As there's a nice ulti coming up from the Nox, able to get some mitigation as Maji's going to get absolutely chased down, realize he's going to come back here for the peel and they're going to be able to walk Maji all the way out as everyone's just super low HP, but Maniacs is just going to try to do anything to help out his team here. There's definitely kill potential if they are able to get it, as the ADC from YouGotDiffed is not here at all. Is going to be able to go on the backline. Unfortunately, missed the knockup. There's going to be a nice dash coming from Ostrich. You're going to get a full follow-up. Nice slow. Really nice skewer actually to get the kill at the very end, as your wife's new BF is nowhere to be seen to be able to help out the team. There's going to be lots of CC onto him. Are we going to be able to get a rune into their grab? Doesn't look like it, but we're going to be able to trade a tier 2 tower from the Artemis. So YouGotDiffed didn't get a lot out of that, but they did get a solo kill as well as a tier 2 tower. So you got to take that, especially considering that it is on the better side of the map, away from the Fire Giant, going to be able to help set up for a Phoenix push next time they are able to go for that FG if they decide to go for it next team fight.
Both those objectives in the right jungle still up, so I wouldn't be surprised if within the next 2-3 minutes we see a call for that, especially if they get a really nice pick somewhere in mid or potentially in duo. Value on Totem, he has multiple people kind of eyeing him up, but I don't think anybody other than maybe Maniacs is going to kind of look like face check him.
Yeah, no, that would be a pretty crazy thing if they're going to be able to go on to that one. I love Maniac's auto attack canceling onto a ward there. Seems like the most unnecessary thing to do, but I love it so much.
Practice the way you play, even if it's on a ward. Why not?
Of course, of course. I was actually going to look for a gank here onto your wife's new BF, maybe, or maybe just get some more farm. As, of course, ranged auto attacks makes it a little bit easier to clear out wards from a distance. As another solo kill comes up, unfortunately, Medusa does burn beads this time, and it almost kills Paxki, but not quite in the end. That's something that I think Mental is definitely going to have to get right. Realize that he's 2 levels down, and he's going to have to check that. Make sure he doesn't fall for that one again. As if I was YouGotDiffed, I would be. If I was Paxki, I would back immediately and meet them at Fire Giant. This is a huge opportunity for them to be able to get something here. Nice ulti coming from Jing Chen. You'd be able to get a lot of CC onto the back line, sorry, the front line of the team. There's not going to be a lot here coming to peel them out. Really nice Magi's cloak proc there, actually. Able to get them out, and they execute beats Kefri ulti. That's why you bought it. So that's why you picked the god. And there you go. They used it once. That's a good use of it. So they're actually just going to group up for Gold Fury instead of going for the Pyromancer or the Fire Giant. If I was Pumpkin Bash, I'd just pay for Pyro here. There's no reason for them to try to contest that. They're 3v4, 3v5, sorry. And that's exactly what they're going to be doing. They're going to go straight for the Pyromancer, get some sort of gold. I like value here. Realizing the entire team doesn't need to be there. Maybe he can do some sort of contention. They do still have the ward on Fire Giant. So just even showing his face, I think, is enough to deter them. Yeah, looks like they're just going to be able to walk off of that one. Really good heads-up play coming from Value to be able to do that. I know in the set that I played
just face checking them terrifies them there. Yeah, I completely get that. As soon as sometimes you make a call like that, and if you see one enemy body, you are out of there. That's just the call. And I feel like that's kind of what they were thinking. With how much damage that YouGotDiffed has on their team, you could easily just 2-man the Gold Fury. And of course, 4 of them are still alive, so who's to say it wasn't Uller and Achilles still hanging out over by Pyro? Definitely a possibility.
Yeah, looks like they're just gonna pick up a Pyromancer here. Like I was trying to say before, and they're just gonna be able to get some nice warp pressure and get set up for this FG. And I think whoever is going to be able to get this Fire Giant right now is going to be able to run this game. As YouGotDiffed has every single tower on their side. So if I was Pumpkin Patch, I wouldn't even focus on getting one Phoenix. I'd focus on getting as many tier 1s and tier 2 towers off the map as fast as possible. Realize very, very quick to try to get out of this one. Nice self ult for the peel. Nice cleanse on that one just to be able to walk out. And that's Magi's Cloak, actually, just saving him straight then and there, giving himself the actual peel that time instead of his teammate, which is really nice to see. So it's essentially a free beads. It's an absolutely ridiculous item to give someone, considering the amount of importance of having beads, especially against a cop with a Nox. And the big potential of the rest of the team. That's got a lot of damage onto the backline, actually. Kepri doesn't have beads again, obviously, and there's going to be a lot of huge dive onto the Scylla. Scylla's going to get popped, so is Realized. Didn't have the cleanse, didn't have the ult to clean up. There's going to be a lot of clones here, and they're going to be able to get a lot of damage on the backline, but it's not going to be enough. It's 1v5. Unfortunately, it's not going to be able to do much. His value sniffs out Maniacs is going to be able to get a really nice dodge onto that Axe. And YouGotDiffed is going straight for the Fire Giant. There's not much that the rest of the team can do. As Mental is just sticking with his dual lane.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's only you and your jungler alive, and your jungler's face checking all of them, and he knows just how dangerous they are over there. Sometimes you just gotta shrug your shoulders and split push. You can maybe get a tower later on in the game. You can potentially get two if both of them are still up. So even though they get fire, it doesn't have to be a complete loss. You can maybe get a minor objective or two to kind of mitigate the fact that they just got a really big power spike on you. So not really doing that, though. Yeah, Mineral Depressed kind of more than comfortable just hanging out in his own jungle, getting safe farm. Nothing wrong with that, but with how far behind they are now, it's gonna be pretty rough. It's almost a 10k gold deficit here, and they need to get a way to get a couple towers. And if it doesn't happen fast, then it's just gonna snowball out of control, and YouGotDiffed is just gonna steamroll this game.
Yeah, I think Mental's just trying to get as much possible farm for him, but for himself, sorry. But Paxi did an amazing job setting up the wave so that it's a slow push, building that slow wave so it's making it almost impossible for Mental Depressed to get any farm unless he overextends really far past his tier 2 line. So it's really, really good job rather than Pass. He meant to do that on purpose. I'm going to give him the credit or benefit of the doubt that he did mean to do that. So really good job from him to realize that. As I just realized that the Russo actually is running a not very tanky build. He actually is just going for a straight cooldown build with Chronos Pendant, which is something that you'd almost only ever build if you're ahead, and is realized didn't really get punished all that much. But they're going to look here for the Phoenix defense here, as they're going to be pushing out both of the Trebuchets at the same time. So if they just slow push this, they're going to be able to get pretty much everything off the map coming up from YouGotDiffed. I really like their ability to see the bigger picture here and save up those Trebuchets the way that they're supposed to be used, and push waves for you. Something that's completely, super underrated in a lot of levels of play. But clearly we're going to be able to see this absolute max potential here, as they're going to be able to just look for the mid Phoenix here, waiting for minions to get pushed up by that Trebuchet. As they do have pings on it, actually. They do know that's there. As it looks like they're just going to wait for these mini waves going back into here. Here, nice dive right into the backline, forcing the dash out. Russo decides to start the tempo. Here's the pace, and his backline is actually going to jump on Maniacs. He's not going to be doing a lot there. He's going to have to push out the beads to be able to get stunned out of the Artemis ult. He's going to get picked up by Your Wife's new BF, and Punish ult is going to get absolutely chunked out in the backline as well. Really, really nice peel coming from YouGotDiffed. There's a bit of a miscommunication on that dive timing, as the Execute's going to be able to get the ult forced out onto the Medusas. They're going to be able to just take out some Phoenixes here, and there's going to be a very little for Pumpkin's Patch to be able to stop this dive. They have FG, they have two Trebuchets putting two different lanes. They already have mid Phoenix. If they don't stop them here, this is game 100%. It's going to be really, really tough for them, especially considering they only have two ultis coming up here. Ooh, and Modric, or
And
sorry,
that,
Realize is going to get absolutely destroyed by the Silence and CC combos that they have. I would love to see just pushing out any and every ulti that they have right now, trying to do anything. Russo getting very adventurous in the enemy spawn, realizing all they have to do is get a kill here. There's no defense. He's just trying to go for some damage. Mental Depress is trying to hold his own. He's getting absolutely chunked out by the opposing team, as I've never seen a Trebuchet actually pushing all the way into the spawn of the Titan, but it looks like we're going to have it. Are they going to try to go for a Trebuchet start? Really, this is typical, but this is going to get punished for this one, trying to get some more kills instead of ending the game, as they're going to try to chase this one all the way down. Value's going to go down, and they're going to get another kill onto Chubby Ostrich. But there's going to be a huge wave there, my friends. There's a Trebuchet as well. You're going to have to clear that very, very quickly before that's going to take out your Titan. And they do actually defend it from the arrogance of YouGotDiffed.
yeah, I don't like that from YouGotDiffed. I really don't like that from YouGotDiffed. I play a lot of casuals with a bunch of different people, and you know, sometimes I consider that BM when you could just end the game and you don't. If you have the chance to win the game, just take it. I really don't care. I don't like that at all, and they could potentially pay the price. Titan is gonna slowly but surely heal once those Phoenixes come back up. Fire Giant's gonna spawn here in the next minute, and it'll be enhanced. It's just, if you have everybody focusing Titan, it goes down in under 20 seconds. I just don't get the point of, like, the only thing that was kind of okay about that fountain dive, really good 1v1
Maniacs.
Paxki is really, really good at these solo 1v1s. He's absolutely insane. He's gotten Maniac at least twice. He's gotten Mental Depressed at least twice. He's done really, really well on... He's taken a lot of damage, don't get me wrong. That's kind of just how it is with 1v1 trades. But he's done an extraordinary job at not losing 1v1s. And that's been a really, really big deal for them this game. But like I was saying, this really could come back to bite them. The only good thing about that Fountain dive was the Jingxin ult that surely he died for in Fountain, but he did get Scylla out, and any sort of protection that they had on their Titan was killed with her. And at that point, they still had 2 damagers that could have just focused Titan. I guess in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter all too much. They still got EFG. Now, Pumpkin's Patch having to really struggle to hold on here. They got a Trebuchet in mid that's being pushed against them. 2 Phoenixes down, and of course, a whole enemy team with Enhanced Fire Giant buff. So it is soon to be the end, surely, for them here.
Yeah. As you get a full dive here, actually, really nice cleanse onto the uninstall to be able to do as much damage as possible onto the backline. Really nice silence, actually, not going to be able to get this.
I'm assuming his internet went out or something along those lines, because, okay, there he is. How you doing, buddy? Well, that's going to be fire minions pushing in left and in mid lane. There was a really big fight in right that ended up with 2 YouGotDiffed players being killed.
A lot of minions going to be coming through as well. I don't know if that was my Discord failing or what happened there, but something happened and I got cut out.
Yeah, you were just straight up, oh, and a fight here, and then just disconnected. So I assume just a weird.
Yeah, gotta be Discord. I didn't miss the awesome
really great stuff. Oh, the damage! If he hit the rain of arrows, that would have been a kill for sure. But he barely missed it far. And Maniacs is going to get one more shot at life here. Mid Phoenix is going to go down in the blink of an eye. Surely they're going to go for it to keep Fire Waves pushed up.
It looks like they really want to. They do have one last Fire Wave to be able to siege here. Really nice Jingchen ulti into the silence, going to be able to pick up the kill. Actually, in the trade, I think as a Russo, you would take that every day of the week. But it does mean you're not able to go for the Phoenix anymore, as this Nox is like an absolute problem against this team right now. That massive silence zonal for Puninstall and for against Puninstall and 3 Maniacs is putting in absolute work right now. Mm-hmm. Something that I don't think I would ever say, or something that I don't say very often, is a Nox is doing some absolute crazy work this game.
One of those gods that it's really hard to get right, but when you do, it, like I said at the beginning of the game, she just hits so hard. And of course, Ostrich has been doing a really great job at utilizing her kit to the fullest, as they're going to go for a very quick left Phoenix push here, and it goes down. They have all 3 Phoenixes down. All they need to do is focus Titan. They can literally just walk past everybody on the team, and it looks like a couple of them are going to do so and go into Titan Room and finish the game off. Very good play.
Yeah, no, that was a really good defense, really good attempt from Pumpkin's Patch. But when you have that many Phoenixes down, it's almost impossible to defend, especially considering that they had enhanced Fire Giant. But again, the storyline of this game set precedent to this match of a one team losing almost the entire team and having to rebuild it from the ground up, another team removing their entire team and building it from the ground up is really, really cool and really interesting to see how everyone performed. And I think that everyone really did. They did their absolute best. Um, I think Pun Install and Maniac should be a bit choked up about that game, not able to do as much as they probably wanted, just almost completely countered by the fact that of Paxski's ult, as well as Chubby Ostrich's silences. Um, Something that is definitely going to be looked at for the rest of their games moving forward. But that was an excellent game from both teams, especially.
Yeah, I have to say that YouGotDiffed really put a lot of effort into it. There were a couple times where in game one where they kind of slipped on a couple of team fights, but of course they made the right calls, they went for the right objectives, and they got the right picks at the right times. And we're able to get a really good game one, a really quick game one finished off. Game two lasting a little bit longer, primarily due to, like you said, when it happened, the arrogance of fountain diving and trying to full clear the team before actually finishing off the Titan when they could have very easily just focused the main objective and won the game right then and there. But even still, not letting that phase them, and just a lot of damage coming out from both your carry and your jungle. If you're going to be out damaging people that much with those two roles, it's going to be hard to lose. And I feel like they kind of showed that. Paxki did really good with 1v1s and in team fights. Value did really good with ganks, did really good with camp invades, stole a lot of experience from the enemy jungle whenever he had the chance, and he never really got punished for it either. Was the amazing thing. He only really ever died in team fights, and that says a lot about a jungler if you don't get caught out on your own and you only die in team fights because the other team's focusing you. You know, what are you going to do? But yeah, it takes a really solid jungler to be able to invade camps that often and steal experience that often and not really pay the price for it. So I'm going to have to say that Value and Paxki, of course, like the Wombo combo together, both were the big factors in them winning today.
Yeah, I feel like for two different teams rebuilding their squads for two different reasons, um, it was definitely a game to watch, and I don't think that we're going to get a game similar to this one for the rest of the season. And I hope that both of the teams are going to be able to improve and build a lot more synergy moving forward, as that is something that's going to be very, very important as we are getting closer and closer to playoffs. So um, we're just going to be waiting here for captains for interviews, but whoever voted on the quick 2-0 coming out from their team of You Got Diffed. I think a lot of people were seeing them struggle a lot in the first half of the season. Um, so seeing them having success here is actually really nice to see. Um, as we do have the captain of Pumpkins Patch is going to be able to come in here um, in one moment. If he decides to join a call, so I can drag him. Just running into some technical difficulties. Hold on one moment. As there we go. There he is. Jacko Bean is going to be able to come in here for a quick call. Mr. Bean, hello.
Hello, hello.
Or should I say, Three Maniacs? Thank you for joining us for this post game interview. Emmett, you can go ahead and start off with some questions. Go ahead.
Oh man, so I mean, first and foremost, tell me about your thoughts of the game. What are some of the things that stuck out to you most and were a big factor for you in this game?
Game two, you know, I feel like I feel like we all play well, like really well as individuals, but given that we're a new team, we played one scrim together for this. It's gonna take some improvement because as far as team fights, but before that, I feel like we play really well as far as keeping even. But when it comes to team fights, that's something we need to work on, especially just because of the fact that we don't have much experience together.
Yeah, that's a big factor for sure. I know that even with the best players, sometimes they just don't mesh well immediately, so you need to work on that. I feel like next game, though, after a couple more scrims and a couple more just practice games, y'all will definitely get online a little bit better.
100%.
Um, what was a really big factor for you in, say, game one? Because I feel like you were definitely kind of playing from behind for a little bit, having to play a little bit safer, but then you had really good team fights. I kind of want to know what the thought process was after maybe that one team fight near Fire Giant. What the idea was there after you got 3 kills, I'm pretty sure it was, and then
Yeah.
I kind of just backed off. I want to know what y'all were thinking right there.
Yeah, when we turned that FG fight, um, at that point the call was we're still behind. We have to realize this, and we just need to farm, get as much as off the map as we can while they're all dead. That was basically what we were going for there. Because if we wipe them and try to go for FG or something, two can contest, no issue. But we just wanted to farm and try to get even for the next FG fight.
Hmm. I can understand that too, especially that's a big that actually takes a really strong mindset to be able to look at something that you just did and realize that you're still behind, even though you have a little bit more momentum in your favor. Sometimes people just let that get to them and they don't realize that, oh, I'm still 2, 3 levels behind. Oh, I'm still an item behind. So I do like that call there. I just think it ended up being highly unfortunate considering they were able to spawn and just go immediately for fire and then run it down. Um, what was the idea with the Circuit pick and the build that you went? It was pretty interesting. It went kind of like a hybrid tank damage.
Yeah. I was testing out a few things earlier, and I was figured out why not let's throw it in this game. We kind of had that in mind before we even draft teams, and once we saw the Soul pick and the Ravana, so Ravana, Soul Leader, Bumbas, we figured Circuit just negates all that. But one of the things that I like to do with the Circuit build is I mainly orient towards the Hunter, but I go Spectral. But the Hunter obviously didn't build great. He built Penhoyi, which kind of really threw me off. So I kind of went in a different way with the Genji's guard, and it just didn't work out given that I was behind. But honestly, you're gonna see this cut again. I don't want anyone to sleep on it. You're gonna see this cut
I
again.
like the pick. Circuit's a really strong crowd control assassin, and when you build it right and you have the team following up on your lockdown, it's it's a deadly pick for more reasons than one. So I can't wait to see that come out again. Um, one more question for you: when it comes to playing the game, it's a lot different from spectating it, and we can see like everything happening at once and kind of pick out how the things that we see. For you, who would you say was the player of the match? Because we can sit here and say, oh, it was this person because this amount of damage and this amount of kills. But it's different being the actual person playing against them. So if
For
you had to
both
give
teams,
one person a pat on the back for
like
both teams, yeah, absolutely.
honestly, for our team, I would say game one, our mid laner really that Yu Huang really put in some work. He had some huge ults.
Mm,
But as far as consistency, Pun and Saw has been playing solo lane great throughout game one, game two. For their team, let me think back to game one. It had to been honestly, it might have been Chubby in mid
hmm
or the Athena pick because I was really just having a hard time getting anything done when I was getting taunted into a soul too, and that burst was actually insane. But game two, no doubt in my mind, their jungler was what he was on it. He was on it. I remember he contested our blue, right? He had our blue timer, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna be at the next blue, and then he went to red. So now I'm at blue. He's at red. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. His map control. His map control was great. His farming was actually really good too. He just kept up. He kept at least a level or two above me at all times. So yeah, I would say honestly, as far as a set, I'd give it to value, the Uller.
Yeah,
As
that's
a
something that
beast.
me and Giants touched on too. And me in particular, I was praising how well he was able to control the map, get all
Mhm.
over without, he never got caught out either. That was the amazing thing. As junglers, sometimes, even the best, when they're going for camp steals or when they're going for invades or any sort of thing like that, there's the off chance that they're going to get caught out. He
Yep.
just didn't. He knew exactly where everyone was at every single moment in time, and he was able to make the enemy team pay for it. And I'm glad that you saw that too. Sometimes it can be easy to overlook that when you're playing and just maybe, oh, it's down this time, it'll be up next time. But it seemed like he just had immense control over the entire map, and yeah, I'm glad that we both see eye to eye on that. Overall, how do y'all think you did just in general? I mean, you said you played well, but and I agree with you, but and there were just some like unfortunate team fights and decisions. But you think the next game's going to go a lot better?
Yeah, we got some work to do. Like I said,
Mm,
and nobody on this team is really bad. We're a new team. This is our second game together. We need to get some coordination, some team fights, get some game plans going, and I feel like we'll definitely uh we'll definitely get up there with some of the top teams.
for sure. With some of the things that we saw this game, especially with those team fights in both first and second games, I could definitely see y'all being a top team towards the end of the season. So best of luck to you. I really hope it happens.
Thank you so much.
Mm. Giants, do you have anything else to add?
Nope. Best of luck. Glad I was able to help you get a squad together, and can't wait to see your success. And I wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season. And go enjoy your post game fun with a margarita on the lounge.
Right on. I could go for one of those right about now. Do we got anything else going on? Any more people coming in?
We do. We have the other captain of the team. I'm just going to move him into the cast right here, right now. That is Russo. If my Discord wants to participate with me, because it seems to be struggling today. There he is. Russo, hello.
Nope. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Doug. Congratulations on your game, of course. Good win for you, especially with your new squad. Do you want me to drag in Pasky here with you?
Sure.
Might as well. Where is he? There he is.
Oh shit.
Yeah, just want to say congratulations on your game.
Yeah.
Nice win. Must feel good having an entirely new squad. Already have such nice team fighting synergies. Um,
Honestly, for first time playing together, I was really surprised.
Yeah, no, I think all of us were really looking forward to this game, especially comparing the two teams where both of you had to rebuild your entire teams for one reason or another. It's nice to see that there's so much talent coming from the free agents. Um, especially up here in Premier. So, yeah, and I mean, like, there was a lot to really compliment you and your team on. It was a very strong individual performances across the board from everyone on your squad, with some standout performances from Paxki being able to 1v1 pretty much everyone in the game, as well as Chubby Ostrich putting in some absolute work on that Nox second game, just denying any sort of dive onto the back line.
Yeah,
Um,
it was crazy.
yeah, and I just wanted to quickly ask you, what was your guys' mentality going into this game? What were you looking for, and who is running the shots? I think for your shot calling.
Uh, Taxi has a lot to do with shot calling, but I think it's a team. We go as a team. We move as a team. Call out as a team. If someone's not okay with the decision, we talk about it. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. I feel like going into the match, our strategy really, especially because we ended up with a last minute sub, we were kind of just like, all right, let's just vibe. Let's make sure we pick pressure somewhere in lane. Which somehow we ended up with pressure everywhere in game one. It was kind of nice. I don't know. I was able to kind of just run it down. After that first death for me, I didn't feel threatened for the rest of the game, so it was kind of nice on the Hoi Yi. And then game two, very similar idea. We knew that we didn't have pressure with the Nox and Artemis picks, So we then picked pressure in the jungle instead with the Uller, and pressure in mid lane, or not mid lane, pardon me, in support with the Jing Chen being able to rotate and help us out. So um, I think that was really our goal, was just to make sure that we could get through the laning phase and be at least even. So that way, then the team fighting with like I don't know, Value and I were both feeling very very confident in our 1v1 abilities. Our mechanics, we trust it, and I think that's where it came in.
Sweet. Yeah, no, it was really nice to see the mechanics coming out, especially considering that there's a lot of people playing a lot of gods that required a lot of um, difficult mechanics to be able to pull off. Of course, you playing Artemis, not really all that you need, because that you just have stuns and traps and
You just press
auto
four.
attack cancels. Of course, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But that's not to understate that the play that you had. First game you were playing Hou Yi, end of the game I believe it was 6-1 and 3. Second game coming into this one, really just absolutely popping off. As well, going 7-4 and 5 with 32k damage, second highest on your team, behind only Value playing that.
Did he cut out, or am I the one lagging?
Yeah, no, he could have.
Well, he was saying second highest damage, and I gotta say, the only reason Value even got it is because we trolled in Fountain. Otherwise, I would have been top damage to end that game. So shout out Value farming damage in Fountain, and then causing us to have to take an extra 5 or 6 minutes on that Titan. It is what it is. We trolled a little bit. We all trolled and almost paid the price for it. We were lucky to be able to end the game after that. Did we lose both hosts? What's going on?
I'm here.
Oh, you're here?
I was letting Giants do his thing. Is Giants out?
His I don't know, he got cut off or something. Yeah, I know. I assume
Yeah.
because I'm still here and he got cut off mid sentence, so something must have happened.
That's really unfortunate. Well, dadgum, I was kind of letting him do his thing, and I just completely lost track. No, y'all did really great. Even with the sub, I think there wasn't much that y'all couldn't do. The team fights looked really good, and like you said, I also made light of it during the match. In game two, where y'all could have ended at Titan, what really was the idea there? Like, what was with the fountain dive? Was it like for fun? Why not? Like,
Yeah, it was more like a fuck it. Oops.
You saw Rousseau ulting in their fight rooms.
yeah. Well, and I also did say that was the only sort of fountain dive I was okay with, because at least it got the Scylla out of fountain and she died for it.
Yes, she did.
So I was okay with that. That was the only part of that I actually endorsed. Everything else I disliked, because I mean, you focus Titan for 20 seconds and it dies. So
not even 20. We just
yeah.
rolled a little bit. I mean, we even could have ended even after Rousseau and I think I was the second one to die. We still could have ended too. We just screwed up our leashing of the Titan, especially because we had like a. And also shout out our trebuchet. Literally missed a shot on the Titan. I didn't know it could do that. It literally just missed. That shot probably would have killed Titan. So actually, I don't really think it's our fault even that we didn't end there. I think it's like Smite. Just Smite.
Yeah, the developers never expected that the kill shot on the Titan was going to have to be a trebuchet shot.
Yeah, well, but it was all calculated up until that point, and then it just missed. So it's unfortunate, but we got to learn to cope with what we can do there. Though. But yeah, I know we had our fun, and
I think we got it was our first 2-0. I think it was our first 2-0. I think we were just a little too excited.
Yeah, and me playing a new role, I was having a lot of fun playing ADC. It's definitely my secondary role behind jungle. And also we had a sub too, so we were just having fun. We were all vibing. It was good vibes throughout the whole game, and yeah, it was really the solo laner. We thank him again for filling in, because he wasn't even a solo laner apparently. So thank that guy so much for being there when we needed him.
Yeah, that was a really great game overall for sure. And yeah, of course, I've played with Chairforce a couple times. Really fun guy to play with, and he can flex into a bunch of different roles. So really glad he was able to help you all get the win today.
Absolutely.
Any final thoughts on how the game went? Any shout outs you want to make?
Well, shout out to you guys. Thanks for casting our game.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chairforce for subbing and playing as good as he did for a non-solo laner.
And that's pretty much it for me. I mean, we shout out the other team too. They didn't look that they looked good. I shouldn't say they didn't look that bad. They looked like they had a game plan with their which a lot of teams don't, especially brand new teams don't. And I respect the hell out of that. That they at least like stuck to their game plan and tried to play around their picks. It's just sometimes snowballs start, and I really think that Value was really able to just control the map and uh, helped make me almost ungankable as well. So shout outs to again the other team. Fun match.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, awesome. With that, I think we're going to go ahead and let you go and probably wrap up the stream here. Thanks for joining us on this interview, man.
Thank you
Thank you.
guys. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Husky Fang Draft League match between YouGotDiffed and Pumpkin's Patch. Of course, YouGotDiffed taking the 2-0 sweep here. That's going to do it for us. Thank you so much to Patrick Lees for camming. Thank you so much to Giants for tuning back in right at the end of the stream. Uh, and of course, again, thank you all for watching. It means a lot. If you're already a part of the Discord server, keep sticking around and hanging out and being active. Like we mentioned earlier, we're going to have this Joust tournament coming up on Saturday. And if you were wanting to participate, you can have people from outside the server join in. Just make sure you like get them in touch with the tournament organizers so we can have it all situated. And as always, thanks for watching. You got anything else, Giants?
I got Discord diffed.
Discord diffed.
That's it for
You
me, though.
got diffed.
I quite literally did. No puns intended. Straight up diff by Discord. But thanks for everyone who was listening. Thanks for all the hosts, and thanks for casting with me, Emmett, and camming for us, Pacho, and thanks for the teams who were playing. Have a good night.
Likewise.